Hello, welcome back to Mirror Interpretation Todorova's page. My name is Joanna and I am an interpreter. Somebody requested me to make this series of videos regarding the note taking. Thank you, Vrabche, for doing that. So while I was preparing this video, I realized that I use a specific combination of knowledge that is a little bit different than what we have normally, and this is based on my past studies. So when I was in the university back in Bulgaria, I studied maths, and in high school I studied DOS system, computer DOS. And after, when I started working as an interpreter, particularly simultaneous, I did not have time to take notes. So my brain get exercised to be very precise and to memorize specific chunk of information based on logic. But when I started to work as a simultaneous interpreter, I had to slow down, and I discovered this technique that is combination between numbers, mathematical, Greek science, and computer science that helped me take notes really fast. So guys, today you're gonna have these secrets for free for you, and I know a lot of people are scared to share their secrets because they are afraid that someone can steal it from them. Well, nobody can steal you something that you don't have. So I'm happy to share my knowledge, guys, and I will tell you, if you can use that information in any other kind of a elaboration or make it yours, you should do so, because these kind of abbreviations and signs that I use can eventually help you to be a better interpreter. And as they said in my field, your own job is your own competition. So you compete with yourself and the best service that you can provide as an interpreter. Okay, so the first thing that I will tell you before we even start talking about abbreviation, you guys gotta study the terminology every day. Every day, yes, you heard me right. Every day before I destroyed my notes, I go over it and I see if there was a term or an information that was there on the day today that I didn't know. Trust me, guys, every day you're gonna have a new words, new terminology, new ways of expression. So you study them every day. I have 2 books, one of which have 3 languages, have Russian, English, and Italian, and another one have English, Macedonian. So every day when I finish my work, let's say the word that I didn't know was in Russian, I'm gonna write it down in Russian, I'm gonna write it down in English and in Italian, just one time. This simple small exercise help your brain to remember this information, especially when you write it one time in the end of the day. I cannot tell you why, I don't know how, but when I was doing this, I discovered that my brain have a specific refusal to remember certain words in certain languages. For example, in Russian language, the word for kidneys, which is pochka. So for me, for the first 2 years, every other day, I had to search this word because for some reason, my brain didn't associate it with anything that it knew before. So as they say, the mother of knowledge is repetition. And I will not repeat the rest of it, but you understand, if you have difficulty to remember something, you have to repeat it. Visually, mentally, writing, this helps you a lot. Okay, so the rule number 1 is to study the terminology. There is so many videos that I'm making regarding terminology, guys, that you can even just listen to them while you're cleaning your house or whatever. This type of videos will help you to repass it. And while you listen it, you can find it on your target language. I give the video in English, you can think about Spanish. let's say one terminology word, whatever. Let's look about kidneys. Kidneys in English is the organs that elaborate the liquids and create urine. Wonderful. In Spanish, what is the word for you, or whatever other language you speak in Arabic? Look for it while you listen to me. There is a target words that I use in every these videos that I describe the body organs. You can use it to just repass mentally the terminology. Okay, so first of all, actual note taking. This video is gonna be how I take notes for a dial out. A lot of people are scared when they receive a call, they have to dial out, and I will give you few secrets of how I do it and how I make from one list of information, very small chunk of information, and how I'm able to reproduce it when the dial happen. Okay, so the rule number one, and this is something very, very ridiculous for you guys. For people that speak more than one languages, I will tell you, I always write the abbreviation of the target language. If it's Russian, I write RU. If it's Bulgarian, BG. If it's Italian, ET. Wherever the language is, I write an abbreviation because, guys, we do get distracted and we do forget. I write the abbreviation and I also write the time, and I can show you right here on my notes. This is sample. Let me see. This says Russian and eventual time. So why I do this? What's the reason that I use this abbreviation and time? Sometimes some of these calls are so problematic, especially if you have to advocacy. So when the calls are problematic and you have to advocacy, I always have the time and the language. And when I take a note, if in the end of the day I have to do some kind of a report, I have it already there. I know what language, what time, what date. I normally have the date on the top of each page every morning, but I don't care because I do it every day. I shred my notes every day. So for me, I know it's today if it's not shredded, right? So first thing, the target language, do not forget. I sometimes forget. I'm super focused, but that can happen to everyone. So write it down. Write one alphabet, Italian, Spanish, whatever is it, Portuguese. Make sure you have it on the top of your notes. Another thing that I will tell you that I find out very useful, this is how to take notes, physically how to take notes. So if that's the paper, I separate the paper normally on 3 lines, which I don't do anymore. I don't write it, but in my brain I separate it. And I start, this is one note taking. Then is another one, there is another one. The reason why I take notes in a small spaces, because if you have a small gap to write, not long, you write faster. And you also write in a small space. So this is the information that I abbreviate. I abbreviate it in that much of a space. And I can reproduce it perfectly because it's organized. So the first number thing that I do when I pick up the phone and after I introduce myself, the person introduce themselves to you guys. So who is calling? Who is calling, their name. And for example, I give you an example. Sometimes they say, hello, this is Cheryl calling. Blue Cross Blue Shield, I'm calling on a behavior of a Dr. Ali. I'm calling on a behavior of Medicare or Medicaid, pharmacy, Walgreens, AmeriCard, or so on and so on. So there's a lot of people that they will say their name and they will say, we're calling on behalf of. So interpreter, I would like you to dial out. So there is things that we can abbreviate and there is other things that we should not, and we should write them fully and we should focus on them. So the things that we don't have to type down, this is hello, good evening, hello, good morning, hello, whatever is the day. I call it this logical courtesy. I never write logical courtesy. I always start first one with the name of the provider, whoever is calling. So the first information is gonna be that I'm gonna type down is gonna be Cheryl. And if we say she's calling on behalf of Dr. Ali, I write dash Dr. Ali. That's it. Let's say this is how I have two phrases here. Hello, good morning. I am Cheryl calling on behalf of Dr. Ali regarding. I never write regarding because I already know it's regarding something, and you will logically remember that. You don't have to write it. I write 3 words, but I said entire phrase. She said entire phrase. I can repeat it, but I don't have to write it all down. Okay, so who is calling and the name of the patient. Let's say this is Russian. We're calling to Alexander. This is Cheryl Brookloss Brushield on the behalf of Dr. Ali regarding. Normally, the provider starts saying the name of the person, Alexander, George, Georgi, and they have difficulty to spell it, but don't worry, I always write the name of the LEP or limited English speaking person near the language. So I know that I have to greet them properly, say their name, and then I will read the note. Okay, let's say the number 2 notes that I take, the reason of the call. This is the number 2. I am calling you regarding a pharmacy drug plan, procedure dates 12/31/2019, renew your medical plan, instructions for, let's say, procedure. Okay, so the reason of the call, I always put in a dot number 2. So if it's regarding a doctor's appointment dated 31st, blah, 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 2019, change, I would say, I will write I.dr, I put the date, and I will write ch for change. That's it. This is gonna be just 3 alphabets. So how I decide which part to abbreviate, I base on the fact what cannot be missed. The date cannot be something that you abbreviate. So when I put the date and the change, I already know that this is why I'm calling. I don't have to write the whole phrase. I just know the main sense of it. And this helped me to abbreviate it really fast. And I guarantee you I'm very precise when I have to make it back and leave it on the voicemail. Okay, so the dates, the names, and the reasons we cannot change. This is 3 things that you have to type down. You don't have to worry about the rest. I mean, if you follow this one, if you follow that code, you can always take a perfect note and you can always be precise when you simultaneously interpret. And then I will give you an example, number 3. Let's say that we're calling to give an instruction for a procedure. So these voicemails are really long, and I will tell you a small secret how I abbreviate that and how you can do that. Again, organize it. Okay, so the number 3, let's say our point number 3 is instruction. Instructions before procedure, before endoscopy. So when is instruction, and I will write instruct in cetera. I write in cetera, and I write a small abbreviation of the procedure. Let's say it's upper endoscopy. I will write up and the, and I know it's endoscopy, right? And something very easy to help you to remember is you imagine it, because upper endoscopy is from the top, so it's easy for me, right? We already talked about this procedure. So let's say the instruction is The Dr. Ali advised you nothing to eat and drink after midnight. So I write no E and no D after 12. After 12. So I don't write the whole phrase, but I write no E as in Edward and D after 12. So I already know that this means nothing to eat or drink after 12 midnight. Easy. Number 2. There is all similar and you cannot forget them. If you need to take medicines in the morning, you can take it with 1 sip of water. So I put number 2 of the instructions. And I put meds 1 SCP water. Simple, guys. You will not forget it. You know what is the instruction number 2. Number 3. Arrive early in the morning, 1, 2, 3 hours before the procedure. And check in at the reception. Let's say I arrive under the instruction dot number 3. I write 1 hour before. Check in. If there is a check-in instruction, I write CH. And I don't have to write it down because normally those instructions are very similar, guys. I can reproduce it sometimes very fast because I come from simultaneous, so my memory is kind of trained. But it's easy, right? And always point number 4 or 5 or whatever after we have all this instruction is a callback number. So I don't need to write if you have any questions or if you need any help or if you need any. I just write C and I write down the number, guys. So how I follow my logic to abbreviate and take notes, you know, for your own memory, for your own brain, what is harder for you to remember. There is some people that can remember numbers easily. I can remember 3 or 4 numbers in short time of seconds. But if they go a longer speech, I'm gonna forget them. So the things that you're gonna forget, those are the things that you have to type down. So very normally, you're gonna forget the names. The name of the shield, the name Blue Cross Blue Shield. Blue Cross Blue Shield, I always say BL Cross, and I know it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever insurance. The Dr. Ali name, whatever is the doctor name, you're gonna forget it, guys. So just write it down. So we write down the names, the dates, the reasons of the calls, instructions one by one. First, second, third, fourth, and a callback number. And that's it. You have it already. So guys, that was my video for how to take a note for a dial out. I am gonna make a special video where I'm gonna show you the mathematical signs that I use as abbreviation instead of words in my note taking. So if somebody look my notes and they try to take an information from them, it's kind of challenging because I use these symbols, Greek, mathematic, and computer symbols that help me type really fast. And I repeat again, guys, if I talk for 8 hours a day, I would normally have about 2 pages like that of a notes. So you understand that I do not take fully notes. If you try to focus on the note takings and not on the meaning, not on the sense of the conversation, you're gonna panic. So just relax and find out for yourself what is challenging for your brain, and this is how you will discover which part to type. If you guys like this video, please press like, subscribe, share, I don't know, write a comment, ask me for a video. You can see other videos on the top over here, and stay tuned. I am going to prepare a full series of video for you about the note-taking secrets that I use. Thank you for being here. That was everything from snowing Denver, Colorado. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye and take care.